This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which is recorded live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Radio Show is being brought to you by The Barbecue Guru, the original creators of automatic temperature control devices, now offering 4 different models for you to choose from. Rest easy knowing that The Barbecue Guru is controlling your pit temperature so you can get on with your life. Visit bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU for more information. And by Fred's Music and Tasty Licks BBQ Supply, your online barbecue and grilling superstore. From cookers to grills, wood chips and chunks, and everything in between. Also be sure to try the Tasty Licks barbecue brand of rubs and sauces. Check Fred out online at tastylicksbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Located in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, Stephen DeFranco Jewelers is a family-owned and operated business looking to service the great folks of the barbecue and grilling world. Get free shipping and big discounts by mentioning my name and the term Barbecue Brother. Check out their inventory by visiting StephenDeFranco.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, with 30 years of experience in retail, wholesale, meat markets, food service, and customer service. Using that experience, everything they do and sell at Butcher's Barbecue comes from real-world knowledge. Check out their award-winning spices, sauces, marinades, and injections by visiting ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. And by Green Mountain Grills. Discover something you'll really love. Grilling with pellets. Green Mountain pellet grills are the top of the line, best of the best, but not the highest in price. And be sure to check out all of their flavor rubs, sauces, and pellets for the Green Mountain Grill, all on their website. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to peruse the entire products portfolio. And by Barbecuers Delight Wood Pellets. 2/3 oak, 1/3 flavor wood, giving you that perfect combination of BTU burn and sweet, succulent smoke you're looking to get all over your meat. A wide variety of flavors, so please go to the website to check it out and get yours today. Barbecuers Delight, which is bbqrsdelight.com. And by JP Custom Smoke, a competitive barbecue team out of Wichita, Kansas, manufacturing the highest quality barbecue rubs on the market today. Looking to increase your competition scores? Looking to get the hearty high fives and hand clasps at the neighborhood barbecues? Look no further than JP Custom Smoke. In the market for a high-quality offset wood-burning barbecue pit, JP Custom Smoke has years of experience building high-quality, fully customizable, and extremely fuel-efficient barbecue pits. Visit jpcustomsmoke.com for more information.
This is Jim Minion from Two Loose Screws. I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. Oh, it's the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, rapidly becoming known as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening. 2 ways to get in touch with the show tonight in case you want to do it. Rarely does anybody. But just in case, it's a toll-free call, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show at any point if you want to, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are your 2 bits of contact information. Everything else about the show can be found at the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Here's what's happening tonight in case you didn't get the newsletter today. By the way, you can head right over to the main address website, sign up for that newsletter if you would care to. There's a couple hundred spots left. Once that's filled up to over. Only 1,000 spots for that newsletter, and then things are going to change dramatically. I don't even want to talk about that too much. Coming up in about 13 minutes from now, first-timer to the show, and the creator of the Barbecue Marketing Masters class, which will be held This Thursday, Jennifer Brandt, Brand Solutions. Brand Marketing Solutions. We'll talk about that. 35 past the hour of 9 o'clock. I had him on years ago, back when the best of the best. Do you remember the best of the best barbecue competition? He was one of the creators of that. Also, the editor and publisher and owner and janitor of the National Barbecue News. We welcome back Cal Phelps to the show, and then we'll move on to the second hour. 10:14, 10:35. An Emmy Award-winning producer. You know him, you love him. Widely considered to be the guy when it comes to barbecue television. John Marcus will be joining. It's a jammed-packed show, as always, and we're more than happy to have you jump aboard should you see fit. Once again, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show if you want to do that. Hey, look, the show is on live right now. If you could, take out 1 second of your life, do a group or a mass email, let everybody know the show is on, hook them up with the links. The video feed can be found at OutdoorCookingChannel.com, or if you have Roku, go to the Roku store or the Roku App Store, download Outdoor Cooking Channel app, and then choose the live streaming option right through the Roku. You can watch it right on your big screen. You can also Facebook it out, audio file only, thebbqcentralshow.com. You can also stream on your smart devices through the TuneIn Radio app. Number of ways to get it. I still have a phone number that you could actually call. If you don't have any other way of listening to the show live, but you're by a phone all the time, there's a number that goes out on the newsletter each and every week. You can dial in and listen via phone. It's crazy. If you're not familiar with Roku, it's a little box device in competition with the Apple TV. And it's IP television, Internet Protocol television. Works over your wireless signal in your house. Pretty much any store with an electronics department has it, or you can go to Roku, ROKU.com. And it's a fun way to consume the show. Also, don't forget, if you're watching on the on the computer screen still, like that's the old way to do it now. Make sure you have the latest version of Flash. Click on the link in the chat room that says if you can't see, or go to Adobe and make sure that you have the very latest version of Flash. You might think you do. There's a good chance that you don't, because the updates don't always happen through Windows updates and all that stuff. So make sure that you do have the newest Flash player version so you can see everything on OutdoorCookingChannel.com. Hey, quick announcement. We all know Diane Mee here. She takes part in the chat room each and every week. This past weekend in North Bend, Oregon. I said that state right, by the way. It's not Oregon. It's Oregon. Lake House Barbecue took their first grand championship. Boom. Diane bringing it. And a $694 to win it to boot. How about that? $694. Big score now. 31 total teams at this event, also beating out the very popular Mo Cason from Ponderosa Barbecue as well. Way to go, D. You go, girl. Get that first grade championship. That's crazy. At various points on this show, we have talked about barbecue in other countries, specifically on probably 3 or 4 different occasions. We've talked about it in England. Maybe you didn't know that this past weekend there was a KCBS-sanctioned event that took place in the Netherlands this past weekend. Now you're asking yourself, does the show karma jump the pond and help loyal Centralites win that live in the Netherlands? Folks, you know the answer. Yes, pitmaster of Lowland Smokers, Frank van Wert, and his team won the event, and now not only do they get the prestige of winning the event, they also qualify for the Jack Daniels World Championship. They qualify for the American Royal Invitational. It's a qualifier for the World Food Championships in 2014 in Las Vegas. Man, bragging rights. Of course, they can say they're the best damn barbecue cooks in the Netherlands. That's prize enough for most. This country, aside from bringing besides bringing you what appears to be some really great barbecue cooks in Lowland Smokers, has also brought you such great items like Amstel Light, Heineken, legalizing hookers, and, of course, weed coffee shops. Attaboy, Frank. If you are listening live right now, you can just call in whenever you want. It's probably 4 o'clock in the morning over there. Way to get after it, team. Lowland Smokers winning the KCBS-sanctioned event in the Netherlands. How many people even been to the Netherlands? People know that there wasn't things that came out of there aside from Amstel Light, Heineken, weed, and hookers. My kind of place. All right, so like 2 weeks ago in the Open, we talked a bit about local celebrity here in Cleveland, Charles Ramsey, because he found or was part and parcel finding the 3 girls that had ended up being kidnapped for 10-plus years. That spawned roughly 100 or so emails over the course of the last 2 weeks asking me, because I did play a little bit of his interview. I also played an interview with Sweet Brown. You recall Sweet Brown. And that inspired a bunch of emails to me saying, hey, did you see the Charles Ramsey auto-tune? Did you see the Sweet Brown auto-tune? I mean, come on, man. You know who I am. You know where I live.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
Now, I've seen them. For those that haven't, let me show you these internet web gems, classics. I believe first loaded is Charles, and then we'll go to Sweet Brown. You tell me who's better.
I'm talking with Charles Ramsey. He's a neighbor. Walk me through again what happened this afternoon.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran to a black man's arms. They're giving away. My neighbor got big testicles because we see this dude every day. We eat ribs with this dude, but we didn't have a clue that girl was in that house. She said, please help me get out. They're giving away. 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 My neighbor got big testicles because we see this dude every day. We eat ribs with this dude, but we didn't have a clue that girl was in that house. She said, please help me get out. So I open the door, we can't get in that way. The body can't fit through the door, only your hand. So we kick the bottom. And she comes out and she says, it's some old girls up in that house. Call 911 and they called him at McDonald's. I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran to a black man's arms. They're giving away. They're giving away.
All right, so there is Charles Ramsey, classic. Now my favorite, Sweet Brown.
Oh, Lord Jesus is a fire.
Oh, no.
Jesus, 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 Jesus.
Wait a second. We got to start back over. Here we go.
One resident describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop. Then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
There she is, Sweet Brown. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Sweet Brown. Doesn't get any better than that. Sweet Brown. You can find them on YouTube yourself. Just don't think for 1 second that I haven't seen, especially things that are happening here in Cleveland. You know I've seen them. All right, Jennifer Brand coming up out of the break. First, let me talk to you quickly about Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply, trusted online retailer, longtime supporter of this show. I just spoke with Fred a few days ago, and he wanted me to make sure I got this out to all of you. All of you? Tasty Licks now carries Kamado Joe cookers, Meadow Creek cookers, spices, sauces, and accessories. Much of these items are in stock and ready to ship to you directly. Right? You've been looking for Oak Ridge brines and rubs? Have you been looking for the complete line of Plowboys rubs and sauces? How about Smoke on Wheels products? Tasty Licks has them all, of course. You know by now that Tasty Licks Barbecue is your Big Green Egg headquarters, including many items for the egg that you can't get anywhere else. And these Big Green Egg items are in stock. Also, Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply now carrying Harry Sue's new chicken rub. This particular rub is the same one that helped him win 8 grand championships last year, as well as being the KCBS Team of the Year in the chicken category. Now, maybe you're looking for injections. Tasty Licks Barbecue carries all the heavy hitters here as well. Butcher's Barbecue, Cosmos Q, every type of barbecue guru, and their associated accessories. Tasty Licks is a Green Mountain pellet grill dealer as well. And as Fred says right here on the show, they provide classes to the public. Fred teaches a lot of them. But he's also bringing in top pit masters across the circuit as well for those competition teams and to really help the backyard guys get their game up. In addition, teams, Tasty Licks is your competition headquarters. All supplies for competition teams, pans in different sizes, the aluminum trays, the gloves, the thermometers, turn-in boxes for practice. Make it your one-stop shop. Save the time and effort scouring the internet. Go to tastylicksbbq.com and get all of that taken care of in one spot. So head on over now. Enjoy these videos that Fred put up on his page as well. There's like over 200 of them. Very entertaining. Plenty of them. And don't forget that Tasty Licks manufactures and sells their own lines of barbecue rubs and sauces. Got to try those. When you order, drop Fred a line. Tell him you heard him here on this show. Let him know that you support his business because he supports this show. It's like a cyclical thing. Not sick, cyclical. Hand in hand. One hand washing the other. TastyLicksBBQ.com. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com. All right, we're coming back with Jennifer Brand to talk about the Barbecue Marketing Masters. Get your marketing caps on, gents and ladies. Stick around. Be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. I'm not back. There I am. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com in case you want to jump in tonight. Coming up in about 25 minutes or so, Cal Phelps, National Barbecue News, second hour. John Marcus as well. My first guest tonight, public relations expert, dealing with some of the biggest names in the industry. This coming Thursday will be the launch of her Barbecue Marketing Masters Telesummit. You can register for this by going to bbqmarketingmasters.com. It's free, and y'all know free is me, right? So jump on over there right now and grab a pass. There are a limited number available right now, so let's go ahead and race over the hotline and welcome first-timer to the show, Jennifer Brand, joining me here. Jennifer, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Greg. I know I'm technically a first-timer, although I don't feel like it.
Well, I mean, we correspond quite a bit, and we have some, this is going to sound bad, in private discussions about what's happening in the world of barbecue. But nevertheless, first time here live on this show, and I certainly appreciate you making time. So, we're like a mere 2 days away from the Barbecue Marketing Masters Telesummit. Before we jump into that and get some details about it, can you give us a little background on you professionally and kind of how you got involved in the barbecue world?
Well, I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, actually. So my love of Elvis and barbecue is deeply rooted in my core. Then moved to Missouri and then to Washington, D.C. Been practicing law for a little while and then got back to my roots with barbecue really through Heath Hall and Brett Thompson of Pork Barrel Barbecue. They are my guys. So big shout out to them. If it weren't for them, I really wouldn't be involved in the marketing and business side of barbecue, as it were, today. So because of them, we had cameras and crews and media and did a lot of press for them from the very get-go. And then people started to realize, hey, there's something to this. Why are cameras following them around? We want some of that too. So I started to do a little bit with the American Royal World Series of Barbecue, still doing some PR and media with them. And along the way, guys will just ask me, can you do stuff for me? How does this work? How do you do blogs? Unfortunately, they asked me right in the middle of contest or other, working in the middle of other client stuff, and I can't really do both at the same time. So I think this is a good outlet and a good opportunity for the Barbecue Marketing Masters. It's just been a pet project of mine, and I'm really glad to put it out there so everybody can hear some of the tips and secrets that you and I know. Some of these Barbecue Marketing Masters just feel like it's normal and things that they're really, really good at, but the rest of us don't always know those things. So it's good tips.
Jennifer Brand joining us here on the show. Of course, we have the upcoming Barbecue Marketing Masters this coming Thursday. You're dealing with some of the biggest names in the industry right now. You have been for a few years. When does the idea of this Telesummit hit you, and what was the initial concept for it?
So my initial concept, I know you have Rod Gray on the show quite a bit. He's also a buddy of mine and a brilliant marketing guy beyond just his pitmaster skills. So I was kind of tinkering with the idea late fall, early winter, and I ran it by him and said, Rod, I'm thinking about doing this. I really want to give back. I pick a project every year. I want to do something for barbecue. And, this rising tide raises all boats mentality. And I thought, if I can just share this with a handful of people who are at these barbecue festivals, who do want to get some camera time, who do want to, promote their sauce, promote their brand, if I can put them all together in one room, share with them a panel of experts that I know who are really good at social media, really good at SEO, really good at marketing or branding or how they get their barbecue sauce on grocery store shelves. If I can put them all in one place at one time, they could just absorb it like a sponge because I know they're really smart people and I know they're going to grab onto this stuff. They're already excited about being a business for barbecue entrepreneurship. So Rod, brilliant as he is, said, Jen, barbecue season comes up in the spring and everybody is super busy. They're on the road all the weekend. So you got to get this done like now in the winter time. And if not, you got to make sure that these guys can all do it remotely. We have Wi-Fi, we have internet access. Anybody in the world can log in to something for a day or download the podcast. But not everybody can, one, afford to go to, a hotel conference room for a day, right, and the flights and whatever else would just mix up with their barbecue contest schedule. And of course, Rod, brilliant as he is, was like, yeah, good idea. Let's see. I've already got some of the software. How do I make this happen? So yeah, a little couple of weeks of tinkering around and noodling on the idea. And then voila, made some phone calls to a lot of guys I know and girls like Robin the Grill Girl in the barbecue world who I would consider a master of certain areas or certain expertise, and just leverage that. I want the spotlight to be on them. It's not about me. It's not about what I know. It's about every single one of these awesome people who have volunteered their time to put up, share what they know and their years of experience. So you're not hearing from me. I'm just asking the questions everybody else wants to find out, all in one space, all in one day.
Sounds like a great idea. Jennifer Brand joining me here on the show, bbqmarketingmasters.com. If you want to go over and grab a pass. Do you have like a count on how many passes are left? I know there's like a limited amount.
I do. I just checked. I mean, honestly, I would love to give this to the whole great big wide world, but we haven't really marketed it. It's all just been word of mouth and really only about 2 weeks of heads up time because it's not for the great big wide world. It's really for the guys who are interested in growing their barbecue business or building their brand. So yeah, I just checked the stats right before I came on the show and we're getting really close actually. I'd love to give it to everybody, but our software limits it to the number of people who can actually call in or watch the webcast of it at the same time. So, depending on how the show goes tonight or how many people see it on Twitter, we will probably end up shutting it down tomorrow or,
Would you say that, from your initial idea to how it is going to evolve in 2 days, I mean, has it stayed pretty much tried and true from that initial concept, or has it kind of evolved over its genesis?
That's a really great question. Some of the projects I work on kind of start out one way and just get diluted into all different paths. With this, you can probably see the board behind me. I had a pretty strong strategy session where I sat down and said, how do I want this to be? If I'm going to ask these, masters, barbecue pit masters who are busy people like Chris Lilly, just to get a few minutes of his time to ask these questions too is tough to fit into a schedule. So if I'm going to make that ask of them, I want it to be good and I want it to be clear. So you can see my notes and scribbles, and I'm a little bit more like, if you know Tuffy, he's a little detailed and organized. So that's a little bit of the planning that went into it. So yeah, good question. I think this is pretty stayed true to the vision that I've had in the beginning, and it's on course and going the way I expected it to be.
Jennifer Brand joining us here on the show. So what can one take away from the Barbecue Marketing Masters Telesummit? It's this coming Thursday again. If they grab a pass, what can I expect if I dial in live?
Okay, so if you dial in live, we're going to do back-to-back interviews. You can see on the website there's a schedule. I just put the tentative times because I still have to get all the audio lined up exactly right. Even though we tried to hit it about 20, 30 minutes per session, I do sprinkle in a couple of little bonus sections from Rod Gray where he only talks, 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there. So it's not exactly every half hour. I'd love to be a little more detailed about that. But if we ever do it again, lesson learned. So yeah, if you dial in, you can call on the phone, or you'll also get a link. So everybody right now is probably used to watching Skype or just doing like a webcast, although there's not really anything that you're going to see. You'll just hear the audio voices. Maybe you can see a link to their website or something so you know how to get in touch with them. But most of it's audio. Good listeners, sit there and take your notes. You can have it running on your computer or your iPad in the background, or dial in the whole day on Thursday from, I think, 8 to 6:30. And then I'm also going to do a replay. So everybody who has the pass and the link, I'll leave it up for 10 days so they can listen or, go back and refresh their memory or take some extra notes. So there's no rewind button, but you can hear it all for 10 days straight.
There you go. That was going to be my next question, because as I'm looking in the chat room, everybody's like, oh, I've got a job, or I can't, dial in by phone, whatever the case may be. So if somebody can't miss it live, it's going to be up for 10 days after the fact. Is it just like running in a loop? So if you called in at the same time, like when you had time, it could be the same interview, or can you actually go in and download specific or stream specific guests?
That's a really great question. I am not super techie, so here's what I understand. On Thursday, it's going to run back-to-back from 8 to 6:30, about like the whole interview's in session. If you chime in at noon, you're going to hear whatever interview is on at noon. You can't hear the first one. But then the replays, I think you can start it anytime that you log on. And if I'm wrong about that, if anybody wants the audio versions or the podcast of it, I have all the audios too. So if you guys just want a specific interview, or you just want to hear one person's session or one of the sections, just shoot me an email. Let me know. I can send it to you.
All right. Jennifer Brand joining us here on the show. Again, the website, if you want to check it out, is bbqmarketingmasters.com. Mm-hmm. What was it like for you putting this deal together? Is it a longer process than you had initially thought or sketched out, or have you been able to hit those benchmarks you set out to meet?
Good question. I think one of the quotes that I live by in my business, it says, failing to plan is planning to fail.
Correct.
So for me, it's great to, shoot an email over or text or call somebody and say, hey, will you do this? Will you do this favor for me? Can I get you on the phone for 30 minutes? But I really treasure their time, and I treasure my time. So I want to make sure that in those 20 or 30 minutes, I'm asking the questions that we all want to know, and I'm getting to the meat of stuff and not just dilly-dallying around on chit-chat. So the preparing side for me was really making a script. Here's the questions that I'm going to ask, and going back and forth with all the speakers. Is there anything specific you want me to mention in your bio, or is there anything you really want me to draw out? I think I know what your strengths are, but tell me if I'm wrong. Is there anything here you want to really target? And a lot of the speakers, they really know themselves. They really know what they're good at, and they really know their weaknesses as well. So they can say, yeah, I don't really want to talk about that area. I don't really feel as qualified, but this one, oh yeah, I got plenty of stories on. So preparing those Q&A and, getting all that stuff lined out is really probably what took the most time. Other people can handle the website techie stuff. I leave that to other people who know more about those things.
Well, I guess first, before I ask the next question, if you could, for the people that you don't have internet access, it might be streaming on their smart device, tooling down the road, or whatever the case may be, give us kind of a rundown of who is actually going to be on this telesummit, who the guest panel is.
Yeah, sure. I've looked at the website so many times I should have it memorized in order by now, but I don't. We've changed it a couple of times. So Chris Lilly, I think I mentioned him. He's with Kingsford. His session's going to be towards the end, and it's about the business of barbecue. So we tried to be a little catchy on the titles. We called it Thinking Outside the Styrofoam Box. It's more than just trying to win a big check at a contest. How do you get sponsorships? How do you get to be a brand ambassador? How do you get running a restaurant, building a brand of sauces and dry rub? So he really talks about a lot of that stuff. For the sponsorship side of it, I can't even tell you how many people come up to me at events and shoot me emails and say, how do we get sponsors? We're turning this hobby into an actual, something that we think there's some steam behind it. How do we get sponsorships for this? So we've got some people on the event planning side, and then people like Mike Peters from KCBS. A lot of people know him, who talk about it from the sponsor and vendor angle. And then Bert from Fruit of Wood out in Colorado. He's got a pretty interesting story, actually. I had questions all scripted out for him, and then it came time to do his interview, and I realized, oh, wow, Bert's kind of changed some of his sponsorship stuff from last year. So let's really dig into that. A lot of people don't know it.
Oh, it's pretty involved from what he had to go through.
Yeah, and he's got some, everybody, I tried to ask a couple of the speakers, tell me your mistakes, tell me your lessons learned, tell me the stories of the things that make you change your mind, and you say, oh, no, I don't want to go there. Because I learn a lot from my own mistakes and the mistakes other people have made. So I try to get some of that in there. Other big names, Rod Gray. I know he's a pal of yours. I kind of sprinkled a lot of his stuff in at different parts because I really look up to him. He's a great marketing mind and can speak to so many aspects of it. And then a fun one, I knew Myron Mixon was going to be super busy with all his TV shows and everything that he's out there doing. So I asked his son, Michael, who does Jack's New South, because it's just fascinating to me how you take a brand like Jack's Old South that's been around forever, not forever, but for a while, and very well branded, very well known in the industry. How do you take a sub-brand of that or branch out and make a secondary portion of it? So Michael is, granted he's young, and a lot of people may think, oh, he's just a kid and he's got, his daddy behind him. But really, Michael's a pretty smart guy. When you talk to him behind the cameras and after the TV lights are around, he's really got some good ideas. So I tapped into that for a little bit too. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Gosh, the list just goes on and on. Of course, Heath Hall. He's the very first speaker. I called it Wake Up Call with Heath Hall. And I don't know. There's some pretty good ones on there.
Yeah, me. I'm on there. By the way, just in case, in case you forgot, I'm on there.
Of course. There is our media. You are the marketing master for radio and beyond. I think we talk about a couple other things just in general for publicity as well. But, when we mentioned earlier in the beginning, I said you and I have met. We've talked behind the scenes and through emails, so I don't feel like I'm a total newbie to the show. But sometimes I feel like behind the scenes, I'm the mediator. I'm the one that's telling the client, okay, Greg's not scary. It's okay. Just have a regular, normal conversation with him. So, but you'd be surprised how many people get super nervous about being on a radio show, being on Skype. So you actually give some fantastic advice. So I would say for any of the listeners who want to be on your show, but don't know how to do it or, are afraid to ask or not sure what they should say, tune in, listen to Greg's section.
Very informative because I think that, my biggest pet peeve, and we kind of talked to, people that tune in on Thursday will hear it. My biggest piece of advice for people going on, whether it's this show, whether it's on your local ESPN affiliate, whatever the case may be, is, be excited to talk about why I'm having you on. Don't view it as, I don't want to get too excited because I don't want people to think I'm bragging or that I'm full of myself. That's a whole different tenor, a whole different tone in people's voices. If you're just excited and you're passionate and you're talking with inflection, especially on radio when people can't see you, that is really helping convey, hey, I'm excited to listen to this guy. I want to check out his website, or I'm going to call him for a catering deal next time or whatever. So, that's just free advice here for the Centralites tonight is talk with passion and be excited. I mean, that's probably what you're telling your guests or your clients when they're getting ready to go on the Today Show or whatever is be excited and talk passionate.
Yeah, and authentic. You got to be true to yourself. If you don't believe in your brand, if you don't believe in your barbecue, why are you doing this? It's not always just about money. You got to have some heart into this stuff.
All right, so let me ask you this quick question here before I turn you loose tonight, and I appreciate the time. As someone who I guess isn't actively cooking in the industry all the time like yourself, but you have a vested interest in the business side of things, how have you seen the growth and popularity of barbecue over the past few years?
Oh, very, very much. A ton, actually. Maybe I wasn't around when NASCAR got started. I don't really remember that. I've got a lot of cousins who love it, but it's not really my thing. But I would compare it to that, quite honestly. I've seen other industries take off and have booms, but nothing as big as barbecue. I think part of that, I really genuinely believe, is because of the people. Everywhere I have been and everything I have done with the Pork Barrel Barbecue guys or on my own, everybody has been super nice, super supportive. Even a lot of the guys who I interviewed kind of had this little tone, and they would mention at some points during the interview, be true to yourself, but help somebody else out. And a lot of these barbecue marketing masters like you and Chris Lilly, they all said, hey, you know what? I'm doing this because I was in their shoes too. I know exactly what it's like to go knock on the doors to every single grocery store to try to sell my barbecue sauce. I know what it's like to be the guy scared to death to be on a microphone. So we've all been there, and I think we know what that fear is like. And to have, somebody else who's been there and walked that path kind of reach a hand back and say, hey, like, come on, let me bring you with me. Come on, get up here. That to me is so wonderful. I find that everywhere I look in the barbecue world, and I think that's a large part of why it's been so booming and so successful, because you got some guys who really have heart, who really have passion, who are willing to stay up till all hours of the morning behind their pits just to turn in some ribs for a contest. Who knows if they're even going to make the awards or get a ribbon for it, but they're really passionate about it, and they put that same heart and that same attitude into trying to build a brand or grow a business or do something that's a little bit, better for everybody else out there. I love that. I think that's the reason why barbecue's growing a lot more.
Jennifer Brand is the creator of this class that'll be taking place Tuesday. It's actually a telesummit called the Barbecue Marketing Masters. It'll take place again this Thursday. Head on over to bbqmarketingmasters.com for your free passes. Get the hookup. Jennifer, good luck with the telesummit coming up this Thursday, and I really appreciate you coming on tonight and kind of laying it out for us.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on, and everybody tune into Greg's section too, okay?
All right, let's do that. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Head on over to bbqmarketingmasters.com for your passes. Going away very quickly, from what I understand, like hotcakes, as it were. I think I'm in the noon time frame for the telesummit. Don, I just saw that question. I only had 20 seconds left. I'm going to hope that she had nothing to do with Q Cologne. I'm going to hope. I can't say for sure. Maybe that should be a comment we'll hold the next time we have her on. First question in. Did you have anything to do with Q Cologne?
Get that big stuff out of here.
All right. Let's see. Who's next? Oh. JP Custom Smoke. Oh, yeah. Look. I could sit here and read you this list of how great John Patty is and what a great human being him and his wife are. Here's the bottom line, and there's going to be a second half of this conversation that we're going to talk about with Butcher Barbecue. But first is JP Custom Smoke. Memorial Day was just yesterday. By the way, shout out to all that have served. I said shout out. Thank you for your service. Keeping this country awesome and safe and free, mostly. So I was tasked with having the Memorial Day cookout. My house, of course, because I have multiple grills, and I'm the barbecue guy. And, everybody knows what I'm talking about. You're all the barbecue guy in the neighborhood. Don't even lie like I know you want. So had the pork taken care of. Needed the brisket. Not a very big brisket cook. Haven't cooked a lot of them. Not only have I not cooked a lot of them, I haven't cooked a lot of them well, if I can say it like that. I got some help from two of the best brisket cooks out there on the circuit, and that was John Patty from JP Custom Smoke with his beef rub. Brand new to the market. This thing is helping teams not only win categories, but take perfect scores. I'm a backyard guy, so I'm not looking for perfect scores. All I'm looking to do is add some great flavor, have a nice complement to the beef flavor that's already going to be in there. A little spicy, maybe a little sweet, some savory. John's rub for beef is absolutely phenomenal. If you are a beef cook, you like cooking brisket a lot, you don't have to be on the competition circuit. Head on over to jpcustomsmoke.com. That's jpcustomsmoke.com. Do yourself a favor. Buy about 10 pounds of this stuff. You can literally eat it out of the bag with a fork and spoon. I would say spoon, I guess, if you really want to shovel it in your fat face. It is tasty. It hits the mark. It works very well with some of the other products, what I'll be mentioning here a little bit later this evening. It produced top quality results, and I'm very, very happy that I made the effort to actually buy it and try it, and I'm hooked for life now. JP Custom Smoke, that's jpcustomsmoke.com. Beef rub. It's got the chicken rub. It's got the regular smoke and rub as well. We're coming back with Cal Phelps from the National Barbecue News right after this.
get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Waste Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots. We don't need a radio. Bring a jukebox. For my outlaws, bring me 3 shots. We can raise hell before the
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Thanks again to Jennifer Brand for joining us, talking about the Barbecue Marketing Masters Class, Telesummit, which will be happening this Thursday, starting at 8 o'clock, going until 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Watch out. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Trying to figure out what's going on here. All right. I got his number here. Got to call the office again. If you want to take part, not being interviewed, but if you want to listen to the Telesummit, head on over to BBQ Masters. Make sure it's plural, bbqmasters.com, and then you can go ahead and take part in that. And again, it will air live this Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and then it'll be available for replay 10 days after the fact. All right, my next guest tonight is the owner, publisher of the National Barbecue News, the world's #1 publication covering the sport of barbecue. Let's race over the hotline. And welcome back, Cal Phelps, to the show. Cal, how are you, buddy?
Hi, I'm good, Greg. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Cal. Appreciate you making time for the show tonight. Before we talk about the National Barbecue News, maybe if you could give us a little background about yourself and kind of how you were introduced to barbecue and then the actual publication itself.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I actually got into barbecue because of my dad and his fishing buddy entered a local barbecue contest back in 1991. And they kind of got hooked from there, and a few years down the road, my family's always been in the publishing business, so a few years down the road from there, they decided there needed to be something to let everybody know what was going on, what was happening, and the events surrounding barbecue. And so they started a little rag they called the National Barbecue News, and we've been going and growing since then.
Cal Phelps joining me here on the show. Over the past 5 years or so, Cal, with technology becoming so pervasive, many paper publications have actually suffered. Some have gone out of business, as I'm sure you're well aware of. Others, however, have adapted and changed. What things have you done to stay ahead of this technology game and not gone down in flames like some other things?
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. We are blessed. We have a great following, and we've changed a good bit. I mean, we've put the paper itself up on the website now with flip pages where you can actually see what's printed and mailed every month. But the luxury of that is you actually get it on the first of every month, get access to it, and it only costs you about a third of what a regular paid subscription is, because we don't have to print it. We don't have to rely on the postman to bring it to you. So, that form of technology's changed and helped us keep up with what's happening. But, nonetheless, man, I tell you, the barbecue deal itself has grown leaps and bounds, and by more people getting involved, that's helped us avoid that. I guess that death curve or whatever you want to call it, death slump or whatever, because there's more and more people getting involved and they want to know what's going on. And so once they find us, and hopefully we can get them hooked and keep them in the know and what's going on.
Cal Phelps joining me here on the show. The website Barbecue, BARBECUE, barbecuenews.com if you want to check it out. And I guess, for the folks that are listening tonight, might be considering a subscription or, listening after the fact in podcast fashion, what can someone expect in an issue of the National Barbecue News from month to month?
Actually, if it's about barbecue, it's going to be in there. We try to keep a pretty good different variety of recipes going each month, whether it's kind of high end or just kind of a how-to deal. We try to throw in a few recipes, something different every month. But calendar of events from coast to coast, letting you know what events are coming up as far as competitions, and we don't even care if they're non-sanctioned. As long as we know about them, we'll put them in there, no matter how big or how little they are. But that's in there each month. We also have featured writers each month, book reviews. Doug Mosley does an awesome job of reviewing all the latest cookbooks that's coming out. That's barbecue oriented. He also throws in some. Here lately, we've been doing you hear a lot about pairings as far as wine pairings, beer pairings with barbecue. So, he reviews those books as well for us and lets you know kind of what you're missing, or maybe you're not missing if you don't have a copy of it. But events that have happened, reports on those, and some previews of upcoming events. We have some of that as well. But restaurant news, there's a restaurant guide there of places that we've been to from coast to coast, and we would recommend if you happen to be traveling. So if it's, like I say, if it's got something to do with barbecue, we try to touch it in some form or fashion every month.
Cale, do you have a percentage breakdown of people that are still getting National Barbecue News in the paper version versus the people that have made that switch over to the electronic version by chance?
Man, I actually do. I'm going to blow your mind with this. We're about 94% of the people who have gotten the printed subscription keep the printed subscription. Only about 6% have changed over that I'm aware of. But and I don't know, I've often wondered. I know we picked up some new subscribers because of the electronic edition, who may not even be aware there's a printed edition. But that has helped us come into the new crowd, the younger audience. But the biggest comment I hear about that is, man, I cannot take that computer. I don't want to get it that close to the grill. But when I'm doing something, I like to be sitting out reading the paper by my grill. So that's a pretty good compliment there.
Do you think that, the overwhelming age of subscribers to National Barbecue News might be 40-plus years old?
You know what? I would say 5 years ago, I'd say that's about right. But over the past 5 years, I'm going to say that number has dropped. As far as how much, I hadn't done a survey lately, asking ages and all that. We'll probably do that again in January. I try to do that once every 5 years, send out a survey just to, see who's reading it and where we're at and what direction we're going and where we need to back up and punt at, or, what's working, what people like. We want to keep putting it in there. So, but yeah, the last few years, I'm thoroughly convinced because of the online subscription rate going up as far as the number of people subscribing in that fashion. It tells me that the typical age group is actually going down. So I think that's a good thing for barbecue because that means it's going to be here for a while.
No doubt. Cal Phelps joining us here on the show. He is the owner and the publisher of National Barbecue News. BarbecueNews.com is the website if you want to check it out. You've been around barbecue a long time now, Cale. You've run contests. You've seen this industry grow over the years. Do you think right now we're at the height of barbecue mania, or are we really just scratching the surface of a monster?
Man, I tell you what, that's a good question. But for me, I've seen some stats 15 years ago that said every homeowner, I'm going to say every homeowner, basically 98% of every homeowner in the country owns some type of outdoor cooking device, whether that be a charcoal grill or big smoker or some kind of just plain fire pit that they cooked on outside. So, you know, when you look at that figure coming that far back, I have to say that we're maybe even just stirring the coals on what it could be. I'm still amazed at how many people really don't understand true barbecue and, you know, what it takes to put true barbecue out. And I'll tell you why I say that. I had a subscriber about 2 years ago call me up and wanted to know why Ruby Tuesdays was not on the restaurant guide because they thought they had the best ribs in the country. So, you know, I laughed and chuckled a little bit, and he said, "No, I'm serious. They are really good." And I agree with him. I said, "Yeah, they're pretty decent." I said, "But they're actually done in an oven, and I believe they get their smoked flavor from a bottle, and it's called Liquid Smoke."
Right.
And you think? And I was like, "Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure." But so, you know, when you hear comments like that, that tells me there's still some people that just don't know yet. So,
you know, one of the things that I've seen lately is this, I guess what I would perceive as a widespread popularity of barbecue restaurant ownership, kind of especially when it comes to these chains. First one that jumps off the top of my head, because I see it all the time on my Google alerts, is Dickey's Barbecue Pit. We've had probably 2 or 3 open up around the greater Cleveland area over the past year and a half. You know, what's your take on the whole chain barbecue restaurant thing?
Man, I tell you what, it is, you know, it's growing by leaps and bounds. And, you know, the example I use probably the most is Famous Dave's. You know, Famous Dave Anderson, if you don't know this guy, I mean, he is the biggest cheerleader in the world for barbecue that ever existed. I mean, he's just nuts about barbecue, and that passion has led his company to just expand and grow and go like no other. You know, when you hear about plans of expanding in the next 12 months of about 50 stores west, just in the state of California alone, you know, you kind of have to think, wow, you know, I'm taking pork, and his thing, you know, he does it all. He does some brisket, he does pork, but those, you know, pork is kind of not the norm, you know, west out there. You know, they do a lot of beef brisket, a lot of beef tri-tip.
Right.
But now they're getting a taste of pork. It's same way here on the East Coast. You know, 4 years ago, I couldn't go find a brisket. 5 or 6 years ago, I couldn't find a brisket in a regular supermarket. I'd have to go call my butcher to go get one from somebody or a case. But now, just about every grocery store we walk in now, you see the brisket. Tri-tip is coming. I've actually seen it in a couple public stores here now. So, you know, it's going to be funny to me when everybody gets a little taste of of it all to see where it goes and grows from there. So.
Cal Phelps is the owner, publisher of the National Barbecue News. You can check it out. You can also subscribe by visiting the website barbecue, BARBECUE, barbecuenews.com. Cal, appreciate the time tonight. Thanks very much for coming on.
Hey, Greg, man, anytime, and keep up the good work, man. I follow you from time to time. I'm an early riser, so a lot of times I'm in the bed by 8:30 or 9. But man, I do keep up with you, and man, just keep on smoking, okay?
All right, Cal, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Amen. Thank you.
There he is. Cal Phelps. National Barbecue News. That's been around for a little while now. BARBECUE, barbecue news.com. Ruby, Applebee's, and a few more getting their ribs pre-cooked and frozen. Yeah, I can see that. Ted Reader might have something to do with that. Maybe not. All right, folks, you know what I love to do? Especially this past weekend, which was the start of the grilling season. Because nobody grilled before, yesterday. Your grills were in your lockers. I love to cook on my outdoor smokers and grills. And if you have a charcoal-fired outdoor cooking appliance, I'm going to encourage you to use what I used all weekend long, Kebroke Hardwood Lump Charcoal. Try it for your next cooking session. Quite simply, one of the best-kept secrets around, used by award-winning barbecue competition teams and backyard warriors just like me. Kebroke Hardwood Charcoal, made from natural hardwood trees without any additives. They only use high-quality wood for their charcoal, not scrap wood or any other wood waste or additive. This is the real charcoal that humans have made for thousands of years. Now, of course, we've moved out of the caves and onto our decks and patios, but we can enjoy it nonetheless. Look, an all-natural hardwood charcoal performs significantly better than regular charcoal. It burns longer, hotter, produces lower amounts of ash, but the taste it will impart on your food, second to none. Here's what I want you to do. Visit Kebroak.com, Kebroak, Kebroak, Kebroak.com to find out more about this product. They ship to all continental U.S. states through Amazon.com. Ever heard of them? Check this out. Amazon offers free shipping on all of their bags, but the most attractive option is the 40-pound bag, which you can get for roughly about $1 a pound, depending on what day it is. That's right. It's $1 a pound of high-quality hardwood charcoal that you can't find locally, and it's delivered directly to your door by Amazon.com. No more hassle of dragging bags through the supermarket, getting your cart full of dust. You just have it delivered to you. Quick and easy. What did I cook this weekend over Kebroak Hardwood Charcoal? Salt potatoes. Does anybody know what salt potatoes are? They're little potatoes, like literally this big, and they all are this big in the bag. So uniform cooking times. And they come with a huge bag of salt, which I pour one bag into a container and then I throw the rest away. They're delicious. You can just pop them right in your mouth like chicken nuggets. I also cooked a pork tenderloin. I also did a beef or a pork butt in my pit barrel cooker with the Kebroak Hardwood Charcoal. Also, I did hot dogs and hamburgers for the kids that don't eat brisket and don't eat pork butt yesterday. It is dense, it is hot, and it lasts long, and for crying out loud, none of that huge amount of ash production as it burns down. Look, it's a secret of Southern Miami for years, now ready for the world to enjoy. KebroakCharcoal.com. That's Kebroak Charcoal. Get yours now. We'll be right back to wrap up the first hour.
Now's the time on the show where we give stuff away, yeah. It's free and you don't have to pay a thing, that's why it's free, yeah.
All right. We're back with a giveaway. Why not? That's what I say. Why not? You listen, take your time. I want to give something away to you. How about this? A $10 gift card from thebbqsuperstore.com. Thebbqsuperstore.com. $10. You can apply it however you like. All you need to do is send me an email in the subject line, bbqnews.com. Spell out .com. bbqnews.com. For the first person that drops in with that in the subject line, you get a $10 gift card to thebbqsuperstore.com. Good luck.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And we have a winner. It would have been Steve Quaz, but he didn't listen. He put, period.com. I said spellout.com, so Chris Mumwa wins. I'm sorry, Mama. Look, he's the only one that listened. Steve, Don G didn't listen. Scott Walton didn't listen. Scott, I apologize. I have a box going out to you. Don't worry. I'm going to hook you up. Swear it. Scott Walton takes care of my G5 down in Buckeye Land, Columbus, Ohio. Shout out. Scott, what's up? Working late night on my G5. I'll be expecting that sooner than later, mister. Got trips to take. Trips to take, Scotty. You're coming with me. You know how to fly that thing? I do not know how to fly it. I'm going to need a pilot to go with my plane. In the words of Floyd Mayweather, I keeps a private jet. Hey, everybody. When I used to call games for the Cubs, I used to fly around in a private jet with Stoney. It was some of the best times I've ever had in my life, yeah. That was Harry Carey, ladies and gentlemen, making an appearance. Moomaw, sorry, Chris, Moomaw. I will forward your email over to Richard Parker, and he will hook you up with a $10 gift card. He'll tell you how to redeem it as well. Chris Moomaw. Sorry. There's a guy who nobody can say their last name correctly, Rempe. Very hard to see. R-E-M-P-E. Very hard to see. I am particularly affectionate to making sure that I am pronouncing last names correct, so I apologize. Enjoy your gift. Also, thanks to Cal Phelps for talking about the National Barbecue News. Getting panned a little bit here in the chat room, saying that it's recycled content. I don't get it. I don't get National Barbecue News. I don't get the bullshit because I'm not a member. If I wanted to, somebody could send it to me for free. I'm sure of this. Some Centralite would step up and give me the hookup. I can feel it in the veritable bones of my heart. Your heart doesn't have any bones, folks. I'm just kidding. Sweet Brown, what do you think about that?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. All right, we're going to head over to the second hour. I'm going to refuel. Yeah, look at you, Steve. Come on, man. Corn cobs. Well, wait, hold on a second. I ran out of time. Can't run out of time. Not out of time yet. Anyway, I'm going to refuel. I suggest you do the same. We have a huge second hour that I will tell you about when we come back. Thanks again to Jennifer Brand, bbqmarketingmasters.com. Check that out. Sign up. And Cal Phelps, Barbecue, B-A-R-B-E-C-U-E, barbecuenews.com to sign up or at least check out the world's #1 publication covering the sport of barbecue. All right. I'm off to make a drink. You do the same. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks, Outdoor Cooking Channel, Roku, TuneIn, number of ways to get the show live in 95. You're doing it one way or another. I can see you guys out there. I see you too. I see especially you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Understand my intention.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. Just reading through some of the chat here. Hey, look. Newest grand champion of the KCBS just dropped in, Diane Me. Lake House Barbecue. $6.94 she posted if you listen to the top of the show. $6.94! Throttling of the competition. Almost like a full point over Big Mo Kaysen. He's an okay barbecue cook, by the way, in case you didn't know. right? We'll leave Chris there. And we are off and running. All right, in case you missed the first hour, let me quickly reset. First guest, we had Jennifer Brand talking about Barbecue Masters, Barbecue Marketing Masters. That takes place this coming Thursday. It will air at 8 through 6:30 p.m. If you want to jump in and sign up for a pass, you need a pass to get in. That's the only way you can listen. It's BBQ Marketing Masters, plural, bbqmarketingmasters.com. So go ahead and sign up for it. If you can't call in Thursday, it will replay up to 10 days later. So don't worry if you can't make it Thursday specifically, but you need the pass, so sign up even though you can't listen because you have work, like me, and tune in up to 10 days after the fact. Still to come tonight, John Marcus, TV legend. Just throwing TV legend out there. On the show next week, Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue, joins me to talk about his time on the newest season of Barbecue Pitmasters. That will air Sunday, I believe, at 9 p.m. Eastern on Destination America. Also, the Barbecue Central Show official sauce and rub reviewer, Scott Roberts, will be joining us, making sure we're not wasting our money on bad rubs and bad sauces. He knows what it's all about. His palate is fickle. And if he likes it, by golly, we might want to consider liking it as well. And I've also just touched base with a gentleman that was in competition with Dave Bosca on this upcoming new season, the debut of, is it season 5 of Barbecue Pitmasters now? I forget what iteration we're in now. So, part of me wants to say I'm very excited to see, the new season of Pitmasters, but I'm excited to see the people that I know, the barbecue people that made it on there. I'm excited to see them in the show. They're on TV. That's great, and they're very excited. So I'm excited for them for that. And I think that's it. So Dave Bosca, potentially another barbecue pit. Maybe we'll have a little barbecue pitmasters roundtable, and then Scott Roberts as well. Plus, who knows what's going to follow? I mean, one never knows. It's a jam-packed show as always. I saw this via the Barbecue Brethren forum, and maybe I'll go on there once a week or so just to make sure that I'm not missing something through Google Alerts or what have you. And it's really one of the most heavily trafficked barbecue and grilling forums that are out there, not to be confused with the most popular barbecue and grilling website, of course, which is AmazingRibs.com. Forum-wise, Barbecue Brethren, I think, head and shoulders atop all the other forums that are out there. You can visit it, bbq-brethren, B-R-E-T-H-R-E-N, bbq-brethren.com. Here was the title of a post that I saw that baffled my mind. It took me aback. Judges complaining about not being able to take doggy bags home from competitions.
Get that free stuff out of here.
Is this for real? Can anybody sit here right now in the instant chat that is in this competition world, cooks, or if you're a judge, maybe you do both, I don't know. Is this something that is pervasive across the judges' tent? Judges bitching and complaining about not being able to take doggy bags home from competitions. Look, I'm no genius, but it would seem to me that if you're a barbecue judge at a contest, you're eating a lot of barbecue for hours. Lots of it. And then, after you get done stuffing your face and evaluating food for hours, you want to take more of that food home. Sorry, is this a buffet over here? Welcome to the Smoking at the Run competition. Welcome to Smoking at the Run buffet, ladies and gentlemen. Head into this tent, eat food for hours on end, and then take the buffet of food home after the fact. Come on, right? I think judges, let's be honest with it. Judges, grab hold of yourself, shake yourself. I mean, you know what is expected of you as a judge, right? If you think grabbing 3 or 4 more pounds of extra barbecue is your thanks for being a judge, rethink what you're doing.
Get that free stuff out of here.
Do me a favor. Actually, do me and your fellow judge a favor. Rethink about being a judge altogether. Because let me tell you how that comes across to a guy who is not a judge and who is not a barbecue cook, but has a microphone and is not afraid to use it. Look, I understand you took the time and you paid your $35 to become a certified barbecue judge. And, I don't know if being a certified barbecue judge really means anything in the grand scheme of things. I mean, quite frankly, I could be a certified barbecue judge. As luck would have it, I could also be a chiropractor. We're not getting into that. No offense to Scott Nelson. He's the best chiropractor out there. If you're getting... To me, it sounds like I'm getting into judging because, A, I get to eat, and B, I get to take more food home. I understand that some of you are traveling great distances. This is not a surprise to you judges. If you live in an area where there's not a lot of competitions, I would suggest not becoming a certified barbecue judge. Or if you're going to do it, realize that you are going to be driving a distance. And that distance does not include you taking 15 pounds of free food home as your way of saying thank you. Do it or don't. It should not be incumbent upon any competition, any KCBS rep, or any of the cooks to provide the judges with any more free food than they're already tasting. I mean, give the food to Meals on Wheels, for crying out loud. Just when I think I want to start liking judges, I hear something like this, and I realize I like judges a little bit less. I don't even have any reason to dislike judges. That is really bad, man. Really bad. I didn't eat enough at the judges' table. I'd sure like to take 5 pounds of brisket home. Is that possible? Donate to to a food shelter or to the homeless guy on the street or whatever. It's not your way of being thanked. Well, I was a judge. You should thank me. We move on. There was no Sam's Club this past weekend. However, the series resumes this coming weekend in North Charleston, South Carolina. This will feed into the Hendersonville, Tennessee regional. Let me take a minute here and get you updated on the current KCBS Team of the Year standings as we head into mid-June. As we head into June, that's month 6 for you scholars. Sitting atop the KCBS leaderboard, True Bud Barbecue. Wait a second. Just so happens I'm wearing a True Bud shirt tonight. Number 2, Warren County Pork Choppers. Donnie Bray kicking it. John Nilgis, Parrot Head Smokers in the 3rd spot. Darren Worth, Iowa Smoky D's. Whiskey Pit Barbecue having a tremendous year. Great 4 or 5 months now. Gillies Barbecue. I was introduced to Gillies Barbecue when I was in Oklahoma in March, and I have been diligently watching him. And he has been doing very good. 6th overall. IAB 37th overall. The Blue Bloods is currently sitting in 8th position. Queuing and Stewing and Brewing 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Swiggin' Pig. There you go. Let me see here. Where'd I go? Oh, I lost it. Anyway, those are your top 10 teams as we sit KCBS Team of the Year. So I guess we're roughly halfway through the year. And typically this is going to be right about the time where the competition standards start to really rise up. You know, who in the top 10 right now do you think is going to be there 5 months from now? Is True Bud going to be there? Is Warren County going to be there? Is Parrot Head Smokers going to be there? Or some of these teams going to drop off because they have some other commitments? Who's out here to win KCBS Team of the Year, and who's fronting right now? Who's raking in the benefits? Time will tell. We'll see. John Marcus is coming up next out of the break, by the way. In case you want to stick around for that. Tweet that out. John Marcus coming on the Barbecue Central show. That never happens. All right, folks. This is the second half of the read that I did earlier in the first hour. I was recounting my success with JP Custom Smokes' new beef rub on the brisket. But the linchpin of success, and literally I'm not kidding when I say this, and you can ask Dave Voska in the chat room, I was literally pooping in my pants come Wednesday when I realized I did not have my Butcher's barbecue beef injection. I was like, man, I'm being tasked to cook a brisket for like 25 people. What if it's dry? What if it doesn't hold moisture? What if it sits after I cut it? How am I going to keep it moist? I am screwed with a capital screwed. I quickly emailed Dave. I said, Dave, how good is this Butcher's Barbecue thing you keep talking about? He said, it's fabulous. Why? I said, I'm going to need me some of this because I'm cooking a brisket and I'm scared. He said, hey, trust your butcher, Greg. I said, I trust my butcher if it's you, Dave. He said, well, good. When you get it, mix it with some water, follow the directions in the back, inject, every inch like in a grid, depending on, how big you have, and just let that injection take care of itself. Folks, I am here to tell you, and I'm not saying this because he is a sponsor of the show or anything like that, just like I was not saying that because JP Custom Rub is a sponsor of this show. Simply the best brisket I've ever had. Simply the best. My siblings, my relationals were saying and commenting over and over again. Here's the comment I got the most. Wow, it's moist, followed by, this has a really beefy flavor to it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen when you're cooking a brisket? It doesn't taste like beef. You've injected it with a competitor's competition injection, and it sweetens it up or it changes something. Just like if you don't use a really good rub. The JP Custom Smoke Rub and the Butcher's Barbecue Injection seamlessly, convincingly made me a barbecue champion in the eyes of all of my family, in front of their friends, in front of our family's friends. People were just talking about it for hours. I got emails and tweets about saying, God, this was just absolutely fat. You need to make more. You ran out. That's the other thing. I ran out of brisket. I didn't run out of pork butt, but I ran out of brisket now. So you want to go over to butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. I mean, look at all the products, but if you haven't tried the beef injection, do it now. Don't wait another second. Take it from me, somebody that won in the backyard with it last weekend. butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. Stick around for John Marcus. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right. We are back, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. If you want to jump in tonight, if you feel like it. My next guest, considered by many to be the godfather of barbecue TV, or maybe the creator of barbecue TV. Who knows? The newest season of Barbecue Pitmasters will debut this coming Sunday on Destination America, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, check your local listings for times in your area. Let's race over the hotline. And welcome back, friend of the show, John Marcus, joining us here. John, how are you, bud?
Greg, hi. Good to be with you. How's our transmission?
Well, I'm looking at it. Everything looks good. It looks like you were enjoying a fine stogie.
Here's the deal on this, Greg. I live here in New York City. And really, sooner than later, Mayor Bloomberg's probably going to prevent me from doing this in my own apartment. This is my way to say to Bloomberg, come and get me.
That's right. I was going to say, it seems, since you are in the capital of the world, New York City, that smoking inside would seem to be almost taboo anymore these days.
We'll find out.
Well, I happen to know on good authority that Mayor Bloomberg, a big fan of the show, of course. And he's instant messaging me right now saying, what is that Marcus's address? I'm going to go grab that heater right out of his mouth.
You know what? I would give you that address if I didn't think other people might show up.
There you go. Absolutely. All right. John Marcus joining us here on the show.
But before we get to that, Greg, I want anyone who might be in the vicinity to know that on June 8th or 9th, I'll be cooking with Big Bob Gibson at the Big Apple Barbecue Block Party, the 11th annual block party. And I do, alongside Chris Lilly, I do pitmaster work with my rig, my Jedmaster, and my Done Right smoker. Both are charcoal and wood smokers. And people, please come if you're in the area, anywhere. It's worth a trip within 4 hours of New York, I'd say, to come and have that Big Bob Gibson pulled pork sandwich.
All right, so here's probably what you need to do now that you have mentioned the Big Apple Block Party. For the people that don't know about it or they haven't been out there to experience it, since you have taken part in it a number of years, and I think that's where you and Chris Lilly ended up falling in love one night late around 3 or 4 in the morning or whatever the case may be. What is the event like, and what is it bringing across to the metropolitan public?
The Big Apple Block Party was founded by Danny Myers, who's a legendary restaurateur. He's the founder of Union Square Cafe and Gramercy Tavern, restaurants like 11 Madison Park. And then, of course, Danny Meyer brought Blue Smoke to Manhattan, which began, really, it was the foundation, the keystone of barbecue in the city. And Danny's from St. Louis, and he had the really brilliant idea of bringing greatest pitmaster from around the United States for a weekend of barbecue exhibition. It's not a competition. It's really so that New Yorkers could come and taste barbecue from across the country. And it just turns out that New Yorkers kind of, they jones for good barbecue, especially when it's as good as Big Bob Gibson, which I think is, that recipe for pulled pork is, I don't even know what it is. They won't tell me everything.
Look, from an outsider looking in, or should I say from a former upstate New Yorker, now a Clevelandite looking in, it seems potentially that New York City people are a bit pretentious, that they get to have all of this great, lavish barbecue in this big city, and this isn't something that gets to take place everywhere else across the country. Is that a fair assessment?
New Yorkers like to have whatever they want. If that's the thing about New York, if you want it, you should be entitled to having it. And it doesn't necessarily mean all the barbecue served in Manhattan is what I would call authentic and pure. It turns out there has been a couple of restaurants that have opened in the last 6 months that I would consider to be close to the real deal, one of which I haven't even gone to yet. New Yorkers really, they believe that they are the greatest foodies in the world, so it comes to them.
John Mark is joining us here on the show. All right, John, so let me switch gears for you briefly. So if anybody's at the Big Apple Block Party, go ahead and say hi to John. He'll be working alongside the army of Big Bob Gibson's contingents and doing his own pitmaster work as well. There's a project near and dear to your heart called the Kings of Barbecue, Barbecue Kuwait. We've talked about it a few different times on the show over the last number of months. Bring us up to speed on where the project is right now. I remember the first time we were taking it into like a try thing film festival in Colorado, wherever the hell it was, and now we might actually be getting on TV somewhere with this thing.
Yeah, all the fans of your show that live in the Texas area. What happened was KRLU, which is the Austin, I hope I have that right, the Austin PBS station in Texas, reached out to me, and they said they'd heard about the film. Could they screen it? I gave them a copy to look at that was enhanced with an original film score, and just getting it. This is all about spending money when it comes to finishing a film, and no one's writing me checks, so I'm trying to get the film as close as it can be. They looked at the film and said, this would be absolutely perfect as a fundraiser during the week around June the 6th, and could we have permission to show the film? And not only was that exciting to me to get it in front of as many eyeballs as possible in Texas, because of the 5 pitmasters I brought over there, 3 were Texans.
Right.
And just any Texans. I mean, I brought Johnny Trigg, who I consider to be one of the greatest competition cooks ever. I know there are people that go out there and talk about how much they've won. Johnny really has done it over a long period of time, starting later in life. And also Jamie Geer, probably the greatest pit builder in the U.S., and then Nicole Davenport, who was one of my teachers in barbecue. So the Texans provided a special hook for the Austin PBS people, and we will screen that film. I believe, I would say check your local listings. I think that film screens at 8:20 on the PBS station there in Austin. And I will appear live in the studio, as well as Johnny Trigg and Jamie Geer. And we're going to have some special gifts to give to viewers who are part of the fundraising effort for Austin's PBS station. And we're probably going to have a lot of laughs. You get in a room with Jamie Geer and Johnny Trigg, and there's going to be a lot of lies told, I'm not going to say by who. There's going to be a lot of lying, and I'll be there to call people on their lies. That'll be my duties there at PBS.
Well, somebody has to be there to call people out on their lies, and of course, no better person to do that than John Markus, absolutely. And we're talking with him right now here on the show. When it gets put out in front of people like this, and I don't know how to raise money for a movie. The only movies I know have 3 letters in them. Most of them are X. So, as somebody who, like yourself, who was in the midst of this whole project, like, how are you raising money to help offset the cost, aside from potentially hawking the Emmy over your right shoulder?
What I have found the most effective way to raise funds for this film is to get out a pen and write stuff on one of my personal checks.
The endless supply.
Seriously, it's like in the world documentary, Greg, only 1% of all documentary films find distribution. So that's why this opportunity in Austin is really key to the movie, because there's a chance that we're going to be able to get that film in front of other PBS stations. Now, especially we're going to have gifts to give away, and we're going to give away some DVDs of the film if people contribute. I think Johnny's going to have some sauces and rubs to give away. He's marketing his own brand of sauces and rubs. Would I say that Jamie Geer's going to give away a pit? I really doubt it.
Highly doubt it.
But I think I'm going to try to trick him into it when we're on the air.
You never know what could happen. You have a knife-like tongue.
Well, I'll say this is I've spent a lot of time with each of these gentlemen, so I have secrets.
That's right. Secrets are a man's best friend.
I know, and I believe in holding those secrets dear and near to me until I can use them for my own personal gain.
Very key. That's what I've learned about you over these last many years, John Markus. Keep the secrets to yourself until you need to wield them for your advantage.
I consider myself the most discreet man in America, Greg. I've actually known secrets that could have brought a president down that I can't even disclose right now. Those secrets are so powerful. And I just, by keeping them to myself, until the time is right, I just sort of think it's win-win for me.
That's right. Well played by John Markus, our guest here on the Barbecue Central show. One of the next things that we want to talk about is this Barbecue Pitmaster show, which will be airing in new season 5 coming this Sunday. But I guess I need to clarify something. Rumor mill has it that maybe you are not affiliated with season 5. You are off the project, or what is going on over here?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know who's spreading those rumors. It's hilarious to even be the subject of a rumor. So I'd like to know where that's coming from. I love that I'm that important that someone would spread a rumor about me, Greg. So, if you're going to cast those kind of really aspersions, I think it's important to identify where you're getting your information.
I don't have any particular source, because that was like 2.5 months ago.
Oh, you just made it up?
No. I would never make that up.
Okay. But that means you have a source.
Yeah, but it was like 2.5 months ago, so I don't even actually remember who it was. Otherwise, you know me. I mean, I'm giving it up like a whore on Christmas.
Okay. Well, that conjures up a lot of really interesting imagery, especially involving a Christmas stocking.
Right.
But Greg, I know you to be, somewhat of a serious radio journalist in your pursuit of the truth on barbecue.
Yes.
I would say to you, always call the source to find out, because it's total rubbish.
Indeed. That is my error. So we can all rest assured here. But here's
what I heard. I heard that they're going to continue your show without you.
Now, nobody wants this show, John. We all know that to be the case.
Well, there you go. So, come on. It's so easy to say that. If you remember who did say that, could you give them my number?
Yes, of
course.
What
I would do is I would show them the check I get from Discovery for doing the show. And I would go, am I off the show? What does this mean?
Absolutely. I will. Now I'm going to have to go back through all of these archives. I wish I could remember where I actually saw it. That would make it a lot easier.
You know what? I think there are several people out there who, because they have not been put on the show,
Yes.
wish me harm.
Oh. Well, look,
You know?
jealousy is an evil monster.
Well, I love that I'm that important that people like to speculate my involvement with the show.
All right, so John is on the show. Everybody rest assured. People were, with bated breath. It's coming on Sunday.
A lot of people are threatening not to watch it if I'm not on the show.
That's right. That's
I
right.
can tell.
If you're on the show, we're not watching it. If you're not on the show, I'm not watching it. There's a 50-50 split right down the shot tonight. So we're coming up with a new season on Sunday. How does this particular iteration of Season 5 differ at all from what we saw maybe last season or the season before that? Or are we pretty much sticking to the same thing at this point?
Well, here's how the show varies this season, Greg, in that I'm not on it.
What are you talking about? You're running me around in circles.
I'm trying to give you a little bit of a spanking. Here's what I'm doing. Greg.
Very good. Thank you.
And there's very little that I found as pleasurable as to spank you.
Well, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Okay, so all right. So now that we've established that the one difference in season 5 is I'm not on it, and for some reason they made a mistake and put my name in the credits at the end, so that's a huge error that I'm actually credited. And I think the check they sent me is an error as well. It's that what's great about the show is, first of all, always the locations. We're going to be in Pensacola, Florida. We're going to the Hog Wild Festival in Mobile, the rodeo in Austin's in the Cook-Off in Austin. We're in Slidell. We're in the Show Me State. We're in Osage City, Kansas. We're in New York City on Staten Island. We're in the Bixby Barbecue Blues there in Bixby, Oklahoma, Illinois, Fredericksburg, Virginia, Lee Summit, Missouri. And it always is a great place. It's always great that the show takes us to where these contests are. That's not going to change. But there's a kind of a change up in the way the competition resolves itself this season, and I can't really get into the details on that.
In a general term, if you can, does it culminate into something, or is it a show-by-show, see you later?
We're returning to more of a kind of as opposed to last season, more of a kind of a bracketed elimination and championship situation.
All right.
With the show. So that's my favorite way to do the show. So we're returning to that. A lot of great competitors. I can't disclose them, but people out there in your circle and who follow barbecue to the degree that they listen to you and they also follow it on the web. Everybody blabs, clearly, and everyone knows who's on the show.
Let me ask this question, and this is fascinating to me. Let's say 10 years ago, if you were going to be making the show, no one would know who the fuck is on, no matter what, because we just weren't technically as advanced 10 years ago. We had really big brick cell phones, and the internet was just kind of coming along and gaining popularity, but nobody knew how to use it. How signing all of are you having people sign non-disclosures and you can't tell anybody, or we're going to cut your balls off and we own you for all this length of time and all this stuff? Or is it almost impossible to do that at this point because of all of the social media that is available and being able to disperse whatever you want at any point that you want?
Well, the network holds the standards of confidentiality very seriously because they have a big investment in the show. And we have literally had to remove the testicles of 2 contestants.
Oh no! Oh no! What were her names?
Oh please! I was going to say, what was great about that is that they became our mystery category of cook.
Right, of course. Mountain oysters.
Let me. I think that the cigar has gotten to my brain at this point, Greg, and I may be really just speaking out of school here and saying things that you may not have me back.
That couldn't possibly be. We couldn't get to that point.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. All I know is that it's been a mistake to light this thing up because now my apartment really stinks.
Well, that's the one thing I've heard about these cigars is they do have a unique aroma.
Well, it's what I do when I'm actually barbecuing is I'll have a stogie or two because, frankly, I can't get enough smoke. But it just relaxes me. Some pit masters like to have beers. This is what does it for me, and it just sort of makes it part of a day. And speaking to you also, I find as satisfying as barbecuing.
Well, I'll take that compliment. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would not miss the chance to be on your show.
So it's a low and slow process, sometimes with a chance of injection.
I would say sometimes it's more low than slow.
Right. Maybe low, a lot low, depending on what we're talking about.
My dream, by the way, is still to join you in studio in Cleveland. I really want to do that.
I know from time to time you're only a mere few hours away.
Yeah, I really like, I still have a brother who resides in Central Ohio. So why don't I come into Cleveland for our next appearance, come to the show first, and then I'll go down to Columbus from there.
I'll get car service for you.
Oh, now are you serious? Because then I'm coming.
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding me?
If I land at Cleveland Airport, you'll send a car?
Car, I have a huge marketing allowance. You wouldn't believe it.
Wow. Can it stop at a restaurant on the way to your studio? And
I'll cook you barbecue right here. I have 15 pits and grills, for crying out loud. I'll show you what barbecue tastes like. Forget about that Chris Lilly character.
Well, listen, it's been for a long time I've been dreaming of having some Cleveland barbecue, so honestly.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? If I had a dime for every time somebody told me that particular statement, I would be at least $5 or $6 richer, I swear to God. Right.
How would you feel if we time my visit so that I come to the studio and you have your ribs waiting for me and I'll eat them during my studio visit and judge you?
That would be spectacular. And then
that's a deal right there.
We could fly in Tuffy Stone and Myron Mixon and whoever else I'm probably not allowed. No, she did say Melissa Cookston. And then they can just all berate me right in my own house. And then the only way to get away from it is I'll have to leave my own house. And you can film it, and it'll be great. It'll be YouTube sensation.
I'm in.
I can't wait. All right, John.
I'm sure of all the characters you mentioned, one of them is going to insist on being paid to make an appearance.
Yeah.
At least one of them. But otherwise, I'd be more than happy to listen. You don't need those other folks. I can judge you fairly and thoroughly.
Of course. All right, John, hang out with me just for 1 second here.
Okay, because Greg, I want to find out if you rap when we get back.
All right, hold on. We'll see if I rap when I get back. John Marcus joining us here on the show. Let me quickly do this read for the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru, and then we will resume with John Marcus. We'll talk a little bit more about the upcoming season of Barbecue Pitmasters, some of the other TV shows that are now proliferating the TV world as well, and we'll see how it goes from there. Folks, the Barbecue Guru, the longest-running sponsor of the show. Look, here's the bottom line. If you're like me, you wish you had a full-time job in barbecue, but indeed you have to slave for the man between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. You want to get some barbecue on the cooker at home, but you're not going to be around to 10 pit temperatures. Or maybe you're a busy, stay-at-home mom or dad, and you got kids that slept around to school, you got errands to run, grocery shopping to do. You want barbecue, no problem. The Barbecue Guru has your back in this regard. The unit that you put on your particular cooker, you set it to what temperature you want it to set the pit at, and then magically through a microprocessor and fans, it keeps your pit temperature at 200 degrees or 250 or whatever. So all you have to do is put on a couple slabs of ribs or a pork butt or a brisket, set that pit temperature on the Guru, and you're off and running to do whatever it is that you need to get done. Now, maybe you are super geek. You are super lazy. You're a super lazy geek. And you're cooking overnight, and you say, well, I don't want to get out of bed when it's cold and check to see where my pit temperature's at. And I want to see where my internal temperatures of my meats are. No problem. The CyberQ Wi-Fi has you covered there. As long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, you can take your smart device to bed with you. You log in through the interface, and now you can see where your pit temperature's at. You can see up to 3 meats and their internal temperatures. If you're cooking slow, you can ramp up the pit temperature. If you're cooking fast, you can ramp it back down. It also has the holding mode that everybody has come to know and love about the Barbecue Guru. It's absolutely fascinating, and it is the best seller over at the Barbecue Guru, the CyberQ Wi-Fi unit. And if you're looking for pits, they make the Onyx oven as well. That wins on the circuit substantially. And it's winning in the backyards as well. Fully insulated, holds the half and full pans for food service. Obviously, it's going to work seamlessly with all those Barbecue Guru pit temperature control devices. So, well, Ladies and gentlemen, I have just become speechless. I didn't think that was possible. John, what are you doing? So head on over to thebbqguru.com. That's thebbqguru.com. And we will be back right after this with John Marcus. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Rejoining John Marcus in our conversation here this evening. John, I must say you're a pretty bold man out there these days. You must have known the camera was just on me. That could have been, damn it. Oh, damn it.
Greg, I just assumed the camera was on you during that break. Was it on me as well?
Well, it was on me, but I can see you through a different Skype program as well.
I see. So in other words, had the camera been on me during the break, the audience would have seen that I'm not wearing pants.
I was going to say, they would see you doing your best imitation of Porky Pig barbecue. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're talking a little bit about this Barbecue Pitmaster show. We have judges still. We have the competitors. We're talking about Crescendo this time around this season compared to last season. I mean, it seems now to have really taken on quite a persona within the Destination America channel. It seems to be like the favorite show. It's getting renewed season after season. It's not this, we're here at this channel this season and maybe we're off a couple seasons and now we find a new home. Is this pretty much you guys are good to go for years to come? Is there like a multi-year deal imminent in the future, or is it still always season to season?
Well, one of the things you learn about the entertainment business is nothing is for certain. And, things trend and they get popular. I've always said that Destination America is the perfect home for the show, and they've embraced the show and they're behind it and love it. But things change, you never quite know. I think we take it a season at a time and hope that we perform for the network, hope that the audience doesn't tire of barbecue, but it just seems to be have struck a chord at the executive level as well as the audience level. So that's the formula, for continued popularity, and it's just lovely to have a home.
Far be it for me to say to you, don't you have any type of leverage to say, look, I'm doing my part. We're doing numbers that obviously are okay enough for them to continually renew you each and every season. How about getting on some more freaking television distribution so people can actually see Destination America? Wouldn't that kind of help the whole deal as well?
What you're saying, is logical and makes sense. The thing is that the television delivery system, in other words, the reach that Destination America has, that whole network, that whole deal is completely out of our grasp. We have no control over it whatsoever. It really has to do with basically the delivery system within Discovery, what the homes they have basically purchased to be in as far as, outreach. And it's just part of business. I mean, maybe they know exactly what level of popularity the show is going to have, and it still may be growing. It may have plateaued. I really don't know. And, I think it's like, well, I'll tell you something. I'm a writer by trade. Yep. Barbecue's my hobby, and the TV show's become a business, and a fun one at that. But I'm currently at work on a play right now. I mean, I hope the barbecue fans will just indulge me for a second. But I've written a play with another writer named Mark St. Germain that is now running at good speed in Chester, Connecticut. So any listeners and viewers in that area, it's called The Fabulous Lipitones, and it's the story of a barbecue, of a barbershop. See, I only do things that start with B. And it's a barbershop quartet, four guys who reside in a town like I grew up in, London, Ohio, population 7,000 people.
Right.
And it's not about barbershop singing, but barbershop singing is the world that these guys live in. And it's a real story about culture clashes and about harmonizing and about how we live and how we judge others. And it's a funny play with some serious undertones. The world of barbershop quartets is like barbecue in a way, although barbecue is a much larger subculture. It's like there are limits in an American interest of each of these things. And so they just all have a ceiling, you know? And it's just natural that not everyone's going to be into smoking meat. We just love it. You and I love it, and the people who do it love it. And we don't think about how many people are there. I mean, you might think a little more about it because of your show and outreach. And but it's like we just are thankful for the people who are into it. So I can't tell you how it's going to be bigger or how they're going to make it bigger. They can make it only as big as they can make it.
John Markus joining us here on the show, talking about the new season of Barbecue Pitmasters. That's going to air this coming Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Destination America. Obviously, check your local listings for your times in your areas. John, let's transition a little bit. We'll stay within the TV realm and the barbecue realm on TV. Last night, there was a show called Smoked that debuted, listed as a pilot. So at this point, it's just a one-off. Obviously, the people that were involved are hoping that this is something that could be picked up. So, it's always 50-50 with you on other competing shows. It was a Destination America product. Did you watch it?
No.
You didn't? Do you not watch it for spite because it's, I'm not part of it and this isn't what I want, so forget it? Or were you just busy, or will you watch it later? Or, how does that whole dynamic work with you?
I think it's a topic that we best not discuss.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? It's that bad?
No, it's not bad at all. I love anything that's good for barbecue and features barbecue, but probably at this time, not really a topic, to talk about.
All right, John Markus not talking about smoke. Now, look, I watched it, and the overwhelming sentiment that I was getting from some Facebook people or whatever was that it's kind of a little bit more of the same, but more than that, this phrase kept coming up more and more. Same cast of characters, and my worry is this: if that's coming up from people that might be more on the peripheral of barbecue television, that they could become stale at this point. And I'm just like you. Anything that's good for barbecue on television, even if I don't like a format of the show, I'm happy for people that I've interviewed on the show, or they'll be able to promote their products or their wares or whatever. I like that part of the whole TV thing. But do you think that there is a potential staleness aspect that could happen at a certain point?
I think that there are many wonderful personalities and characters out there, and I've gotten to meet them, and I have attempted to put all the ones that I find interesting on television. Some I haven't been able to, but I really feel there's a whole great richness to tap out there, and I only want those people to rise to the surface and get on TV. So I just want to say, it's really, that's the only way that televised barbecue is going to stay interesting to people, is that we show new and we show, colorful and we show diverse and we show enthusiasm and passion. And we don't just show, people that know how to run through the numbers of being on television. Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, my gauge is my wife. So she suffers through watching.
What's funny, Greg, about that is my gauge is her too.
Hey, we got something. Just when I think we couldn't have any more in common, we have my wife in common. Thank God for that. I was wondering who she was always talking about in her sleep. It all makes sense now. My gauge is my wife, because she has to suffer through it, and she's like, oh, God, barbecue on television. I said, yes. So I said, we're going to watch this new show. And as soon as the show came on, she's like, I've seen all these people already. She doesn't know who any of these people are.
You know what's interesting, too, Greg, about, not to interrupt, but these are all people that I've brought to television.
No, I absolutely agree. So I think when we're watching your show, and then if it's, I don't say who's producing it or who isn't or whatever, we're just watching it. But she is not in the subculture. She only is aware of it because she hears me talk about it from a distance in the family room before she goes to bed 20 minutes later.
Right.
But when it comes on the television, she says, I've seen all these people before. So that's why I guess that was the lead up to my last question was, if she's noticing that, how many other people that are just like her that are tuning in to watch the theme of the show say, I've seen those people too?
Well, I think your wife has a lot of wisdom as a viewer would. I think she's someone who really is a great indicator of the things you're talking about, because she doesn't have a dog in the fight, really.
No.
Except she's married to you.
That's too easy.
Right?
Yeah, that's too easy. I'll let it go.
And so I don't know why the cigar turns me into Don Rickles. I'm so sorry. Here,
hey, we're good.
I have a great deal of affection for you. You know that.
We're fine.
Okay, good. This will be my last appearance on Barbecue Central Radio. It sounds like. I hope not.
Nevertheless.
Yeah. So, I think she's let's say she's kind of a windsock. I always call people like a windsock, that they are there to be listened to. And that's all I can say about it. I read a little bit about the show and I said, well, this is really interesting. These are all people that I brought to TLC, that I brought to the Outdoor Life Network, that I brought to Destination America and to CBS when we did the Ultimate Barbecue Showdown. And I found them working with Lindsay Freed, who is someone who's really a wonderful executive producer on Barbecue Pit Masters. So that occurred to me. But it's a big horse race out there, Greg, and there's room kind of for everybody. I don't know.
Well, maybe is there an old adage of striking while the iron is hot?
You could use that one.
Or, something else. Self-prostitution or whatever you want to call it.
Look,
no, hold on a second. Let me ask a better question.
I'm going to just get in trouble the more I talk about it.
This is a better question. Are some of these people making a lot of money doing these shows?
I doubt it.
Because to me, unless you're making a good amount of money, there's other things that typically you would want to take into consideration, depending on how you're brought up in life. But look, if you're making, a lot of money and this is the only time you're in a window where you're going to be bankrolling a lot of stuff, maybe that's one thing. But if you're not making a lot of money, I don't know where the win is then at that point.
Well said.
All right. Very good. John, we have a couple minutes left. Anything else that you would like to promote? Or get?
Yeah, certainly. I would like to just, can I put a couple of plugs in here?
Yeah, please.
Sure. I tweet at Barbecue Pit Masters. And those of you out there in Greg's audience who have further interest in the Kings of Barbecue, Barbecue Kuwait, which is a 38-minute documentary about a trip of 5 pitmasters to Kuwait military bases to cook for the soldiers. I think what's going to happen after PBS is we're probably going to eventually, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but soon after, begin to offer this DVD for sale to people who would like to own it. And it's a great story, and I think we're going to be able to price it like very, very reasonably. And we'll probably donate a portion of what you spend to either the USO or to causes for the military. I'm going to carefully choose a charity that helps out our vets. If you want to get put on a mailing list, you can send an email to Greg, if that's okay,
Sure.
And then Greg will forward your email to me, and we'll get you on the list.
That's absolutely fantastic. Will you be selling this DVD yourself, or will you be pushing through some type of a third-party deal?
I think I'm going to just get a hold of a small distributor to help me with the sale, so everything is done clean and legal and responsibly. So we'll make sure it goes through a kind of a small distributor so that there'll be an entity set up for people to make the order either through PayPal or through their credit card or whatever.
And then people were actually asking about the musical, where they can check it out and some more information. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I would really love people to come, and I'd love them to let me know if they're coming, Greg. So because I'm at every performance except the Saturday performances when I have to be back in New York City. So go to goodspeed.org. It's goodspeed, one word, .org, and the play's called The Fabulous Lipitones, and you can see the remaining schedule Wednesday through Sunday when the play is playing. And if anybody comes to me through Barbecue Central to see the show, I will be there and I will buy you drinks in the lobby for coming through Barbecue Central.
No way. All right. Look at you. Well, man, I hope one day I can receive an email for somebody that actually takes you up on that offer. What do you think the chances are? 5% chance?
It would be like to have a barbecue person there. I've had plenty of barbershop people come.
I bet.
Oh, yeah. They're coming to check out the singing in the show. And I promise anyone who comes a great time. The show is really funny, I must say. So we found some fantastic actors who are Broadway actors to do our show. We have the great Danny Ritigliano, who has been in Lion King for many years. We have Wally Dunn. We have D.C. Anderson. We discovered a great new talent, a young guy named Rohan Kamil. And you will have a great I promise you, if you come. And you will have cocktails with me after the show in Connecticut.
All right. Sounds absolutely fabulous. John Marcus joining me here on the show. And don't forget, you can check out the newest season of Barbecue Pitmasters coming up this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Destination America. John, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Greg, has the cigar been obnoxious, or how's it worked for the interview?
I got to admit, as much as maybe your house and sheets won't like it, I think it's a whole new look.
Well, I know I'll spend the rest of the night coughing, so I'm glad I could do it.
You got it. Well, I appreciate you doing it.
Great. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Greg. I got to say, I enjoy it very much.
I appreciate it. Have a great night. There he is.
Thank you.
John Marcus. Did I hit a nerve?
Get that big stuff out of here.
You know, I don't like to be the guy that is not with all of the information. But damn it, I'll be damned if I don't have the name of the person that told me that he was off the show this time. I'm going to have to go back through the archives. Also, we're not talking about Smoked tonight. John, what do you have to say about Smoked?
Nothing.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Are you sure you don't have anything to say about Smoked?
Ain't nobody got time for this.
All right. Sweet Brown talking for John. Folks, and let me talk to the ladies in the house. Ladies, are you there? Let me tell you something. You know what's coming up here in a few short weeks? Father's Day. That's right. If I know Stephen DeFranco, by the way, the guest that we just had on, John Marcus, Stephen DeFranco has helped him outfit John with a spectacular Bulova Precisionist watch. That's what I'm actually wearing right now, my Bulova Precisionist watch. I have a good feeling these things are going to be on sale for at least 50%. So what you want to do, especially if you're out of town, go to the website, thebbq, StephenDeFranco.com. That's Stephen DeFranco, DIFRANCO, StephenDeFranco.com. And call after you look at the inventory. 440-943-2700. 440-943-2700. Now, once you call them, ask for Steve. If, like Nancy or Bill answers the phone, say, I'm calling for Steve. He gets on the phone, say, Steve, I listen to the Barbecue Central show every Tuesday. Rempe has told me to call in, get a huge deal on an Accutron watch, Precisionist, Bulova, whatever the case may be. He said it's going to be a huge deal for Father's Day. What can you give? So, first of all, watch the dollars fall off that retail price that he has to list on his website per the manufacturer of the watch. Then, it's free engraving. For the watch, you get an extra year of warranty. So instead of 1 year, you get 2 years. You get free engraving on the back of it if you want. Free batteries for life. He'll set the time for you. Doesn't matter what area code, he'll set the time for you. I mean, what more than you want from that? You want jewelry for your husband? Maybe he wears an earring. Get him a diamond earring. He'll get you those at a substantial discount. All you need to do is this. Go to the website, StephenDeFranco.com, or if you're around town, stop in right there at the corner of 91 and 84 in the business district of Willoughby. Or call them, 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. Ask for Steve. Tell me what the barbecue brother or sister hookup. And you're off and running it again. Ladies, don't miss out on the savings for Father's Day. A watch is a thing a lot of guys want. They just don't want to be the guy that buys that. You can buy it. You can save big money. You come out looking like a hero. Stephen DeFranco. All right, we're going to wrap it up really quick right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we're back. 877-448-0433. Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. A lot of people emailed me, say they want the DVD already. I don't have it. Forward to John. Okay. If you want a copy of the DV or get on a mailing list to let you know when it comes out, you can email me right now if you want. 440-943-2700. Email me, Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. Hello. Little crazy. And let's see, where are we at? How much time? 2. That's 9. All right, we're good. Let's wrap up. Why don't? Let's call it a night. Got some post-production to do. By the way, if you don't get this show live, get it on podcast. It's always up by 7 a.m. the next day. That would be Wednesday. Also, Wednesday, tomorrow, go over to the samlivecast.com. And just before the show tonight, I was a guest on the Sam Livecast. We were talking about barbecue and grilling basics and my thoughts on some fuels and whatnot. In the first hour, we had Jennifer Brand, BBQMarketingMasters.com, BBQMarketingMasters.com. Grab some passes that are still left. Tune in Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6:30. Replays up to 10 days after the fact, but you need the passes, so sign up and get them. Also, Cal Phelps, Barbecue News, BARBECUE News.com. Sign up for subscriptions there if you want to. The world's most largest. Next week, we'll learn how to speak English, ladies and gentlemen. The world's largest publication dedicated to barbecue. And then in the second hour, John Marcus for 2 segments talking about the newest edition of Destination America's Barbecue Pitmasters, which he is on. Clint Cantwell said he didn't think he was on either, so somebody upper level. You know what I'm talking about. We also didn't talk anything about smoke. John got up and had no pants on, but nobody saw that except me. Quite frankly, I'm blind in at least 1.5 of my eyes. And a little bit on, what's happening with the cast of television these days. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wait. Raw cast iron. Season it each and every time. After you're done cooking it, a little bit of brush action, whatnot. Pam and Crisco, also September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.